As the masses are becoming aware of the evil things Diddy has been doing while in the industry, they have been left with many questions, like how has Diddy gotten away with all of this for so many years? Or, more importantly, why didn't any of those around Diddy who witnessed him doing these evil things come out and expose it? I believe it's because some of those people who were around Diddy were afraid of him and the other half were his accomplices. This is why for years Diddy went unchecked and the masses just ignored the rumors about him. While mostly everyone around Diddy has remained quiet for the most part, there was one man who worked closely with Diddy who had been talking out against him for years now. A man who witnessed many of Diddy's crimes and wasn't afraid of speaking about them. That man is Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal. And the things he has been exposing about Diddy might be part of the reason why he's brought down for good. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, we will be talking about Gene Deal and his many accusations against Diddy. Let's get right into it. There has not been anyone outing Diddy more than Gene Deal. Over the years, Gene has gone viral multiple times over for making some wild claims against his former boss Diddy that always seem to shock the internet. Recently, he has been especially critical of Diddy after the Cassie lawsuit was revealed, as Gene had been telling people that Diddy isn't who he seems to be since before the rest of the world caught on to who he really is. For those that don't really know, Gene Deal worked with Diddy in the 90s as his bodyguard. He was also hired to work as Biggie's bodyguard and was actually present the day Biggie passed away. Gene claims that he is one of the men who carried Biggie's body onto the stretcher the day he passed away. The fact that Gene has worked so close with Diddy and was around him day to day for years gave him tons of credibility. When Gene Deal is talking about Diddy, he's not talking about what he heard, he's talking about what he saw. Gene was around Diddy when he was doing his dirt, and as his bodyguard for years, he kept his darkest secrets not to lose his job. But a couple years back, that all started to change, as Gene was no longer working for Diddy and began talking about the things he saw while working for him, and man is it not good. A lot of the things that Gene was saying about Diddy is slowly starting to be confirmed as the lawsuits are piling up against him. Gene Deal made it clear many times over that Diddy isn't a very good man. In fact, he is more comparable to a monster if anything. In today's episode, we will be going over some of the most damning allegations Gene made about Diddy, and I will be presenting evidence to some of these claims that might validate them. We're going to start with what Gene believes happened to the two biggest rappers of the 90s, Biggie and Tupac. In the 90s, Biggie was one of the biggest rappers out, and he was beefing with the other biggest rapper, Tupac. Gene Deal himself was caught in between this beef as he was Biggie's personal bodyguard in charge of protecting his life. The day that Biggie passed away, Gene was heartbroken and traumatized. Not only did he work with Biggie, but he saw him pass away right in front of him. What made Gene especially hurt about all of this is that he believed it could have all been avoided if Diddy had just listened to his advice. See, Gene Deal advised Diddy that Biggie should have not attended the club that night in LA when he was taken out because he knew there was money on Biggie's head. But Gene claims that Diddy was adamant in Biggie going to this club even though the streets were after him. While most people chalk this up as poor management on Diddy's behalf, Gene thinks that it's much deeper than that and believes that he actually might have set Biggie up. In an interview with The Art of Dialogue, Gene claims that he believes the higher-ups above Diddy told him they wanted Tupac and Biggie out of the picture.
Like I told you, I heard Puff say, I don't give a F if Pac gotta die, I don't give a F if Big gotta die, and Suge Knight can go to jail. And I said this before, that could have been some self-fulfilling prophecy he had, I don't know. Or it could have been something that he heard from the handlers, people above him. I don't know, but I do know it came out of his mouth. You understand what I'm saying?
As you heard for yourself, Gene Deal claims that Diddy told him multiple times that he didn't care if Biggie and Tupac had been eliminated, and Suge Knight ended up in prison, meaning that he believes Diddy actually planned all of this in advance. In my opinion, off the evidence I have found looking into this situation, I believe Gene. See, I myself think that Diddy is behind not only Tupac's passing, but Biggie's as well, and I'm gonna summarize exactly what I mean. By now, most of you guys should have heard of the accusations made against Diddy when it comes to Tupac. A couple months back, Keefe D was arrested for his involvement in the passing of Tupac. Keefe had gone on multiple platforms and even wrote a tell-all book confessing that he was hired by Diddy to get rid of Tupac. So considering the fact that Diddy and Tupac were beefing after Tupac believed Diddy set him up by Quad Studios, I have no issues believing Diddy would have wanted to get rid of Tupac, and hiring a rival gang that's against the gang Tupac hung around is the perfect cover up for this. No one would ask questions if a gang member took out a rapper who was associated with a rival gang. That's how Diddy allegedly got rid of Tupac, but I believe he also allegedly set up Biggie. Gene Deal actually told us in a previous interview that Biggie was planning on leaving Bad Boy Records right before he passed away.
Do you think Puffy cared if Biggie, knowing he was going to leave Bad Boy? Because you made a comment before, my man, and you said that you believed Biggie was going to leave Bad Boy. And you also made a comment before, and you said that Puffy made a comment saying that he didn't care if Biggie or Tupac got. So do you think Puffy cared if Biggie killed to LA since he knew he was going to leave Bad Boy?
He knew Big was leaving the label. He said that in Hip Hop Revolution. Is it Hip Hop Evolution or Hip Hop Revolution, something like that? He said that this went and got his own deal. Look at the balls he had. He got his own record label, his own deal. He didn't even bring Bad Boy. The nerve of him. He tried to laugh and play it off, but that's some serious shit. All the money you spent to make this thug life, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of music Big was doing. Hardcore street type of. You made him into Sochi, Big Papa type dude. You know what I'm saying? You made him into that dude that, the women, no matter how he looked, how big he was, they loved him. All that came from Arista money. All that came from what Arista did, you understand, under the Bad Boy umbrella. Now he's taking that to a whole nother label, a whole nother company that gave him $60 or $62 million to work with. We spent all this money, but he going making deals elsewhere and not under our umbrella?
As you heard for yourself, Gene claims that Diddy didn't care if Biggie passed away because he knew he was leaving Bad Boys. Biggie was waiting for his contract with Diddy to expire so that he can sign directly to a major label, cutting Diddy out of the picture. Even Rolling Stone released an article that seems to confirm Gene's claims that Biggie was indeed planning on leaving Bad Boys before he passed away. Diddy became aware of this, and he didn't like it, to say the least. Diddy needed a way to keep Biggie signed with Bad Boys, as that was his bread and butter at the time. But he knew he wasn't going to be able to convince Biggie to re-sign to him. He did know that he might have an easier chance at convincing Biggie's mom to sign her son to a new deal for his unreleased songs, as she didn't know anything about the industry. She's going to trust the man who got her son famous in the first place, which is Diddy. Next thing you know, Diddy comes up with a plan to take Biggie to LA, where he knew people would be after him because Suge wanted revenge for Tupac. Gene also tells us that Diddy was the one who set up that event for Biggie to attend, even though things were hectic at the time in LA. According to Gene, Diddy, for whatever reason, didn't book enough security to protect Biggie when he knew exactly what could happen to him.
I think that way back then, because of the records and Bad Boy, knowing that there was threats, and you heard Puff a couple of times in the past, I didn't know, nobody told us, we was just young, you knew. You heard him lie as if you didn't know. And then he put his boys, Mark Pitts and Wayne Barrow, right over there in Miss Waller's ear. Whereas that she should have been filing a lawsuit against Clyde Davis and Arista and Bad Boy Records for the death of her son, because they did not have the proper security for the Notorious Big in the height of what was determined the East Coast, West Coast war in hip hop. So what they should do is too late for that now. What should happen? God got to decide that, bro.
Wow. Is there any charges they can put on Diddy for Biggie?
No, they don't. They know, LAPD know who Big. They made a deal that those records will never be released in our time.
How you feel about the people that say Biggie was asking for him coming to LA so soon after Tupac got on the radio rapping Long Kiss Goodnight?
Man, you could get 100 people in the room, and out of the 100 people, probably 3 would say it was all right for Big to be in LA. 97% of those people would say he had no business in LA at that time. We all knew that. Why would Puff rent studio time? Come on, man, look. You got to look at what people do, man. You know Pac just got, it ain't no kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk, he couldn't run. They was pushing him around in a wheelchair, brother. Why the hell would you rent studio time, LA, for him to finish your album when in fact you got your own studio, Daddy's house? Let's keep it a buck. Let's stop this bull. Let's stop doing these interviews, man. People ain't getting it. He did not want the beef with the Crips. Puff ain't want the beef with the Dog Pound, Snoop them or whatever. Big started that beef. Puff ain't want none of that beef. So what I'm gonna do is, y'all want the sheep? I'm gonna put him out the pasture. catch him if you can. You got that wolf in you? Catch him if you can.
As you heard for yourself, Gene makes it clear that he warned Diddy that something bad could happen as people were after them, but Diddy made sure Biggie showed up either way. It's almost like Diddy wanted Biggie to be taken out the way he did, and that's exactly what I believe. It seems that Diddy did know that Biggie wouldn't resign, so he had him taken out and then signed the deal with his wife or his mom instead. He also got the life insurance policy payout, as every artist is put on their life insurance when they sign a major record deal. While Diddy didn't put a hit on Biggie, he used Suge Knight's plot for revenge to do the work for him. All he had to do was get Biggie to LA, and he knew Suge would take care of the rest. So in my opinion, not only does it look like Diddy got rid of Tupac, but it appears like he also got rid of Biggie. With this recent Rolling Stone article, Gene Deal is again proven correct. Another serious accusation that Gene makes when it comes to Diddy is that he believes Diddy has something to do with what happened to Kim Porter. He believes that her sickness wasn't what people think it is. He implies that Diddy might have gotten rid of her and requested that her case be reopened.
After the video came out of Diddy attacking Cassie, you got a lot of people that feel like Diddy probably had something to do with Kim Porter's death, at least to reopen her case. How you feel about that?
My man, I wish for the sake of Kim's family, because bruh, if you know what I know, he put Kim in a gold casket, then had security, 24-hour security at the funeral home, so nobody would go in there and touch the casket or take Kim out of there. I think that they should reopen her case and have an independent pathologist look at everything about her so she can rest in peace. So I know people, paperwork, and this other young lady on the internet, they are spearheading the reopening of Kim's case.
As you heard for yourself, he demands a re-examination take place in order to verify Kim's cause of death. I myself believe this as well, and I have said this many times over. Kim Porter's passing is rather suspicious, especially considering the fact that it's believed she was writing a tell-all book. This book is believed to have had a few chapters dedicated to Diddy himself. Considering the fact that another one of Diddy's bodyguards already confirmed that he witnessed Diddy doing the same to Kim as he did to Cassie.
How many times did you personally witness him be violent towards women?
Around 4 or 5 times.
And was that all with Cassie, or was it Cassie and other women?
I seen him with Cassie, and I seen him with Kim Porter, his kid's mother.
Right, who's now sadly no longer with us. But what did you see him do?
I seen him inside the car, grab her up. I seen him, you know. And one thing about Kim is Kim got to the point where she fought him because she realized how powerful he was. It was one incident on Sunset Boulevard in front of the Beverly Hills Hotel where I just seen the car rocking back and forth. You know, of course he put everybody out there, but I seen the car shaking, so I opened the door. I said, "What are you doing? You know, what are you doing? You see where we at and what are you doing?" And Kim got out the car like nothing happened, and she fixed her hair. She told him, she said, "I want to see you explain to the media that scratch I'm gonna put across your face if you put your hands on me again." And that was Kim's attitude. Kim's attitude was she realized that what he had to explain meant more to him than anything. And once she realized she had that power, she said, "Nah, not no more."
I believe that Diddy was after Kim the moment she left him and tried to expose him. Gene isn't the only person who believes this, as Kim Porter's former husband, I'll Be Sure, also believes Diddy was behind their passing. I'll Be Sure claimed that Kim told him she wasn't safe and feared retaliation from Diddy. Then Kim passed away. Watching the leaked hotel footage of Diddy and Cassie, you can determine that it isn't far-fetched for Diddy to take out Kim Porter. He could have definitely paid the price for Kim to be a goner, just like he allegedly did to Tupac. I believe Kim deserves justice, and there should definitely be further investigation into her passing, but we all know that might not happen. Another accusation Gene made against Diddy was that he also used to put his hands on his baby mother, Misa Hilton. Misa is the mother of Justin Combs, and she was one of Diddy's girls at some point in his career. According to Gene, he heard that Diddy was just as aggressive with Misa, proving that this is Diddy with every woman.
Diddy, his baby mom, Misa Hilton, she came out with a statement saying that she seen the video, and when she seen the video, it brought back her own trauma, and she knows how Cassie feels.
Wow, that was big there. That was big in so many ways, man. I was catching flack. talking about, I never heard of that before. I never heard that Puff ever put his hands on Misa. You just made it up. If you saw it, you know why you ain't do nothing about it. I see it. And I always say, Mighty, when I heard something, somebody, and these are the people who were saying it, I always say that. I don't try to claim everything. If I said, I'm going to tell you I saw it, if I want it to be known. But I said I heard he does so bad. Misa was a little thing then too, man. I mean, like, Misa was a little thing. Beautiful woman, but Misa was like, I used to body, when I left Bad Boy, I started working for Misa. Misa called me up, yo, Gene, I'm scared. I'm afraid. I be wanting to go to parties. I be out. And I know Puff or nobody gonna do anything if I got you with me. And that's because she was afraid to be out, because she didn't want if she was out with somebody or she was out doing her thing, she didn't want him to say or do anything to her or nobody else. It was for other people too. You understand? So this only proved that the information that I heard somebody and they told me that Puff beat him because of the Eric Sermon. He thought she was dating Eric Sermon, or Eric Sermon had dropped him out. He was in a white Mercedes-Benz. He had dropped her off. He got mad and started beating her. And when he caught up with her.
As you heard for yourself, Gene claims that Diddy took out his anger on Misa the same way he did to Cassie, claiming that once he even had her hiding under a car. This was also recently confirmed by Misa herself after blogs reported that she responded to the Cassie hotel footage saying she knows exactly how it feels, implying that Diddy did the same to her that he did to Cassie in that video. So now we know Diddy put his hands on Kim, on Misa, and on Cassie. Another thing that Gene Deal claims is that Diddy was actually aware of the federal raid that took place in his home a few months back. According to Gene, he believes Diddy was expecting this for a while, and that it's the reason he has been putting everything in his mother and children's names.
Check this out, bro. Do you ever think of this? Why did Diddy put everything in his mom and son's name? Did he know that he was doing some things behind the scene? Or did he know that some things was going on in his life that may bring it to this point? People be trying to sue him, but everything is in Justin's name, everything is his mama's name. Did he know that?
To me, what Gene Deal is stating makes perfect sense. I also believe Diddy was tipped off. Recently, Suge Knight claimed that he found out Diddy was a federal informant working with the feds. I completely believe Diddy has a relationship with the feds. We all remember the Shine incident with Diddy and J-Lo at the club. It was reported that Shine was the one who discharged his weapon at the club and injured bystanders. It was reported that Shine was the one who discharged his weapon at the club and injured bystanders. But according to one of the victims, that isn't the case. This woman who was at the club that night and was one of the victims injured in the situation claimed that she saw Diddy pull the trigger with her own eyes. She claims she said this to everyone, the doctor and the authorities, but Diddy wasn't charged with anything.
Hey, how you doing? So, here today about this latest lawsuit with the P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs, whatever you want to call him, lawsuit that has come out involving the producer Lil Rod. So basically his last two lawsuits, or last two major lawsuits, the one with Cassie, she made mention that Puffy made her carry his guns into nightclubs and wherever they went. And he threatened her to make her feel like she had to do so. And while there were lots of things of importance, that stood out to me. And I'm going to tell you why. In this lawsuit with the producer Lil Rod, they were both SA'd by him. But in this lawsuit, he appears to be a very young producer to me. But he said something very specific. As a means of threatening him, Puffy said, that's why I shot up the club in New York back in 1999 and let Shine take the fall for it. Let me tell you why that's of utmost importance to me. Because I am the woman who shot in the face in that 1999, December 27th, 1999, Club New York. I have told everyone ad nauseum since then, even the surgeon who did the surgery, I literally have told everyone and never changed what I said. I watched him. I got pow-powed in the face. I watched him fire the. I've said all this time. Even the surgeon who did my surgery to take out part of the bullet fragments that was aspirating into my lungs and try to remove as many bullet fragments as possible, testified in the criminal trial that while they were putting me under, I was screaming, Puffy, pew pew me in the face. He testified in the criminal trial. It is in the record. They all knew he did it. Everybody knew he did it. But he paid off the club bouncer named Sharice and all these other people and the club owners with their video to hide the video. That's his MO. I told everybody.
This is because Diddy is protected by the feds. They could have brought him down all those years back if they wanted, but they didn't. They protected him because he was down with them. Another thing Gene Deal accuses Diddy of is recruiting women from a sex ring operation. He claims that Diddy had a madam who was paid to recruit women for him. According to the Little Rod lawsuit, these allegations seem to be true, and in my opinion, make perfect sense. Little Rod claimed in his lawsuit against Diddy that Diddy's parties were full of sex workers. Cassie said the same thing, but with male sex workers. Diddy is obviously paying people to recruit them for his freak-off parties. A man like Diddy is truly a danger to society, and that's becoming obvious at this point. Another thing that Gene said that caught my attention is why he believes people around Diddy haven't been talking about what they saw at those parties. He said it's because they were at those parties and participated in those after-party activities and are afraid to be linked back to Diddy and his controversy. They know that they all have skeletons that they don't want digged up.
Why haven't any of Diddy friends spoke up for him?
My man, listen here. All those ones who made it to the Diddy party, to the after party, and to the hotel lobby, they not gonna ruin their brand. They not gonna say nothing. I was like, yo, damn, he still got power like that? Somebody still like him like that? You know he was running with Oprah and them. He was running with that whole crew. Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein. He was running with that whole crew. I don't believe the industry has canceled them yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done.
As you heard for yourself, Gene Deal calls out Oprah as one of Diddy's silent accomplices. I actually made a full video on most of Diddy's silent accomplices, and you guys can watch it after this one. Most of the music industry attended those parties, and all of them have secrets they hope get locked away with Diddy. Diddy isn't the only monster in the industry. The industry is packed with them. Now, I am honestly surprised that nothing has happened to Gene for the things he has said about Diddy. He has been one of the biggest thorns affecting Diddy and destroying his reputation. One thing is obvious, Gene Deal is one of Diddy's biggest problems, and considering that he claims he would testify against Diddy, lets you know that Gene is willing to go all the way in taking Diddy down. One thing is for sure, whether Diddy goes to jail or not, we are witnessing the downfall of Diddy, and Gene Deal is partly responsible. Well, I'm gonna end this one here, but before you guys go, I just wanted to kindly ask you to make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. And also make sure to like, comment, and share this video so that others can see the truth. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.